Hello, welcome back to Underrated Movies. I'm your guy, I'm your man, Mr. Elton Henry, and today I'm going to talk to you of another film. Hard Rain is a action thriller starring Morgan Freeman, Christian Slater. It's a story about a group of men transporting some money during very bad weather, like a I want to say like a tsunami, but to the point where it's raining so bad that there's floods around. And they come across a group of thugs or a group of men that want to steal the money that's in this armored truck that Christian Slater is in charge of guarding. And I just got done watching the film, and to be honest with you, this was a pretty good action flick, and I heard it was pretty divisive when it came out. I guess the reason for that response that it's basically one of those same old generic movies where, you know, if you're a bad guy chasing money. I mean, it's you've seen it all before. I can't understand for the life of me why this film would be divisive, but there's something that kind of happens in the middle of the film where I thought was actually interesting. It was a very interesting way of keeping this movie really from being just kind of generic, but really it's one of those old classic like action movies back in the 90s. It has some of those cliches during that time, and anybody who was a fan of those movies like I am, I'm gonna just tell you straight out, this was a fun film. This was a good film. Especially when the action happens, it picks up and is non-stop thrill ride. Like there's always something going on. There's really never a dull moment in this film where Christian Slater, who's in charge of guarding this money, $3 million, and he is pretty much on his own when it comes to guarding that money. Especially, it makes it even harder if with the weather being bad and there's floods happening. He has to swim, he has to jump on boats, he has to do anything, whatever he can to hit the money, make sure, you know, it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. Morgan Freeman plays some guy who's pretty much was aware of who has a plan of trying to steal this money with a group of other gang members. And they got quite a few awesome set pieces here or there. They got a sequence where Christian Slater and some of the bad guys are actually on like a what do they call those water boats? Those glider boats in the water where they're actually gliding through the school. And I actually like some of the shots that they do where they do Dutch shots and all that. Like it makes it very nostalgic, old classic action when they're actually driving through the school. You have a few of the bad guys crashing, diving, jumping, floating around, boom, bang, bomb, bada bing. You know, it's actually kind of cool. And then Morgan Freeman, who I was actually kind of surprised at what they did with this character. And I thought they were going to go all the way with it. His character is an anti-bad guy. He's an anti-villain. So he's doing bad things, but he's not all the way bad. And he'll do it for his own benefit. But if it could be avoided, he'll avoid it at all costs. Because there's a few scenarios in the film where he encounters a few things, especially with his goons and with Christian Slater. All the guy wants is his money. He just wants his money. Okay, he ain't trying to do anything too drastic where he just wants the money. He wants the money that he's, went out there, drenched in water. It's like, I want this money. I want to survive, man. And it gets to the point towards the movie. There are actually some pretty cool, some cool scenes in there. There's actually gets to the point where the movie where Christian Slater gets rescued by a group of local police officers. And there's an interesting twist what they do with those police officers, the filmmaker. They end up becoming the main antagonist once they learn about the money. And once Morgan Freeman's goons are kind of gone, the sheriff starts shooting at Morgan Freeman's goons, and then Morgan Freeman and Christian Slater have to team up to take down the rogue police officers who are desperate for money, and to turn the money in, which Morgan Freeman's intention is to really steal that money. That was actually a very cool twist they pulled in there. I didn't anticipate that at all. For an action film, I did not anticipate that at all. That was actually surprising. They, it kind of made, Morgan Freeman kind of like the good guy, but well, I guess it does make it a little confusing, like whether you're supposed to hate Morgan Freeman or you're supposed to root for him. But I actually like that change, that twist they did with the story, where the police officers end up, who you think were going to be the good guys, deciding like, screw it, we're desperate for money, end up becoming the bad guys in the film. I thought that was actually very interesting. The movie came out back in 97 or 98. It was actually polarizing. I can't understand why, only for the fact that it runs on those other cliche action movies you've seen before. But this was a good time. This is a good, well, maybe disposable action movie, but this is a film I thought you can have a really fun time with, especially if you're looking for a good action flick. Hard Rain, have you seen it? Comment below, let me know what you thought about it. If you enjoy it, like I'm telling you, this is a good, thriller. And let me know what is your favorite underrated movie.